Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Today's lesson, we're going to start off with the very basics of what a fraction is. And so I want us to go back and think back when we were in first and second grade. I know it's probably going to be hard, but most of us don't remember what we did yesterday, including myself. But I'm going to go all the way back to first and second grade, and I'm going to begin to explain the very basics of what a fraction is. And if you don't remember, that's okay. You know, that's why we're reviewing. But I hopefully some of this stuff will be familiar to you. So I'm going to begin by asking the question, what is a fraction? And maybe a lot of you guys have heard your teachers say that a fraction is a part of a whole. So I'm just going to go ahead and write this down here. A fraction is a part of a whole. Now, our teachers might constantly say this, and we might hear students say this, but maybe we don't understand what this means. And so I'm just going to create a little scenario to explain what this means, what a fraction is, what the part is, and what the whole is. So let's just say that this circle right here represents a cake, right? You were to go home and you were to bake this wonderful cake, right? I don't know, chocolate cake, whatever cake it is that you like. And you were to take this cake and you were to divide it into 4 equal parts. So I'm just going to take my marker here and I'm just going to divide our cake into 4 equal parts. And let's say you're being pretty selfish, right? You're like, you know, I want all the cake for myself, but you decide to just give one of those pieces away. And there's some they're pretty big pieces, so, but let's say you decide to give one of the pieces away. So I'm just going to shade it in to represent the piece that I'm giving away. So in context of the question, what a fraction is, what does this mean? How could we represent this as a fraction? Well, let's refer back to the part and the whole. The part refers to the piece, the number of pieces that were given away, and the whole is referring to the number of pieces that we divided the whole entire cake into. So I want to ask the question, how many pieces did we give away? Well, we just shaded that in. It was just one piece. And the second question I'm going to ask is the whole entire cake, how many pieces did we divide it into? Well, let's count them. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we can say that we gave 1/4 of the cake away. Now, the next question that I want to ask you guys is, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there are 2 vocabulary words that are very important, and you're always going to be hearing your teachers using this in the classroom, denominator and numerator. And I want to ask you guys, see if you guys can remember what the numerator is and what the denominator is. And if you don't, it's okay. And I'm going to share a little trick that one of my students showed me in order to help me remember, or in order to help us remember as a class, what the numerator is and what the denominator is. So whenever you ask yourself that question, what is the numerator and what is the denominator, I want you to think of this. I want you to think and say to yourself, I know this. No duh. No duh. That's easy. I know this. And I know it sounds silly, but what we just did right now, we're going to use this in order to help us remember what the numerator is and what the denominator is. So we spelled these 2 words, no duh, right? And you guys see this N right here? You see this D? The N, that's the numerator, which is referring to this top number. And the D, that's a denominator, referring to the bottom number. So maybe this is a little trick that we can use to help us remember. Whenever you forget what is the numerator, what's the denominator, you're going to think, this is easy, I got this, I know this, no duh. The N referring to the numerator and the D referring to the denominator. Okay, so going back to our question, what is a fraction? A fraction is a way of representing a part of a whole. What part did we represent here? We represented the part, which was that one piece that we gave away out of the 4 equal parts that we divided our whole cake into. So now I'm going to ask you guys, and we could do this together. We could pause. You could pause the video and you could try by yourself. If not, we could just do this together. Let's go ahead and write these as fractions. So what fraction is represented here? Well, we have one part that is shaded out of how many equal parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would represent this picture here, this diagram. It would be represented by the fraction 1/4. And again, if we were to ask what is the numerator, what's the denominator, we would think of no, duh. 1 is the numerator, 4 is the denominator. Let's look at this fraction over here. We have how many parts that are shaded? We have 1, right? So how could we represent this picture as a fraction? We have 1 part that is shaded. Out of how many equal parts do we have in the whole entire thing? We have 1 part here, we have 2 parts here. So we would represent this picture as 1/2. And again, if we're talking about the numerator and denominator, we'd think of, what's a little trick? No, duh. 1 is the numerator, 2 is the denominator. Okay, so maybe now you could pause the video if you feel a little bit more confident, and then you could try these on your own. If not, we'll go ahead and work these together. So what fraction is represented here? Well, we have 1, 2, 3 parts that are shaded out of how many equal parts in total? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 3/4. And again, 3 being the numerator, no duh, and 4 being the denominator. And last but not least, this picture over here. What fraction is represented? Well, we have 2 that are shaded out of how many in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 out of 8. And again, 2 being the numerator, 8 being the denominator. So I hope this short video, it kind of helped us remember, just refresh in our minds what a fraction is, because we're going to be getting a little bit more into rational numbers, you know, as you watch the videos, and I want us to understand the very basics of what a fraction is. Thank you guys very much. If this video helped you out, go ahead and share it with someone. And if you enjoyed it, if you felt like you learned something, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.